Hey guys, this is Thomas from NurseMoneyTalk, and in this video, I want to talk about a topic that can be controversial or polarizing to nurses, and that is, should you wear professional attire to a nursing interview? Before I get into the actual discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you aren't already subscribed, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you find this video helpful or insightful, even if you don't necessarily agree with it, I would appreciate a thumbs up though. Let's go ahead and get into this because what actually led me to make this video was based off of a conversation that was recently had. And so it was a kind of a heated conversation between me and some of my coworkers, and by heated, there was laughing and some jokes were being told. So it wasn't heated, but you could tell that there were definitely some differing opinions on that. And one thing led to the other, and I had mentioned that, it is, that I believe that if you are coming to an interview, you should wear professional attire. You're talking about obviously slacks, dress shoes, and whatever, speaking specifically for guys, but either way, like in general, you should wear professional attire, and that scrubs was not appropriate for an interview. And so this then led into a lot of, back and forth, and well, it is work attire and everything else. So I'm actually gonna get to the work attire point. So, but one of the things that was actually brought up was that, well, it's work attire, so you should be able to wear it. And the distinction is that there is a difference between what you would call professional attire and what you would call work attire. And those two aren't necessarily the exact same thing, because one thing went on and somebody said something about how, like, I really hate jeans and all this other stuff. And so then I asked if jeans is part of the work attire for that facility, because there are some jobs where nurses can wear jeans. And so then would that be appropriate to then show up for an interview? Well, no. I knew immediately, and I've known this before. Like, I've gotten into an interesting, I've had a heated exchange, or by heated, somebody was pretty upset because they didn't agree with my stance on uniforms, and or not uniforms, but like wearing professional attire for interviews and not scrubs. So I knew this before. I knew that I was kind of in the minority, if you will, on this. But it's kind of interesting to take that point, because now, as a backstory, let me kind of get to a backstory. As a backstory, like, my first degree was in business. So I came from a college of business where, as you can imagine, it was, I had like what was that thing? It was like a career development person that I had to go meet with. Like, it was like suit, tie. I mean, like, it was as you would expect. And so that is kind of the background that I take to come in here. And so to come into nursing. And so then it's really surprising to me then, when there's such a strong kind of pushback on that. There are a couple of reasons why, regardless of that I still do push for, that I think professional attire should be the go-to for interviews. And one of those reasons is that, one, I do think it gives a certain appearance. When you show up in professional attire, I think you make the absolute best first impression. And if you look at a lot of research on first impressions, I mean, those are being made in seconds. And so you want, and everything and anything that can kind of work to your advantage. So I think so I think professional attire really kind of hits home with that. I think there's something about professional attire. It looks like you take the job very seriously, because one of the comments that was made was, well, they were like, well, I wear scrubs because I'm coming from work. And so I'm going straight from work to the interview. And then I was like, well, I feel like you would either need to take off from work earlier so you can change, or maybe take off for that day or something, because it just, like, to me, like, it shows that you care about the position that you're applying to. But the third point, and this is the part to me that makes the biggest difference, is that, I mean, because I've looked at some of these forums, right? And so I've looked at a lot of them, and there's a lot of nurses that don't agree with me. Like, maybe most of them don't agree with me, and that's fine. The thing to keep in mind is that even if, like, your nurse manager agrees with you, it's not always the nurse manager who's sitting in that interview. It's not always a nurse who's sitting in that interview. And it could be somebody from HR that's sitting that's sitting in that interview panel. And the thing with that is that when you're like a HR professional who is coming from the business side of things, they probably graduated, with human resource from a college of business, the expectation is still professional attire for the interviews. I mean, so it just is. And so I know that there's a movement now towards almost kind of like a more casual kind of a appeal to a work environment, and that's fine. I'm not sure yet, though, that we've come to a point where you can discount professional attire completely, especially from an interview. And so that's the biggest thing, and that is probably one of my biggest points from thinking that, like, the professional attire is the way you should go, and and whatnot, just because, like, I can tell you, like, the business professional, like the one from HR, that if they sit in that interview, the one that's not a nurse or a clinical professional, I would imagine they're probably not going to be that enamored by you showing into into an interview in scrubs. So that's my 2 cents on that. But let me know what your thoughts are on this. Like, I am genuinely curious on what the different takes is, or what is it about what I said that you disagree with, or maybe you agree with, or the rebuttal that you have. Let me know in the comment section below, because as soon as I get it published, in the upcoming video that you'll see over here to my left, I am going to walk through and talk about what is professional attire that you should wear to an interview, if you're a guy, if you're a girl. And so I think it was kind of important for me to then lay out a little bit of kind of like this background on why you are going to see I am going to skew towards the professional attire. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you very soon in that next video.